be talking about your mom tonight.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just tell her on Twitter later. You're talking about me! What?
Some stranger on the internet is speaking about my mother. I bet I have to refresh to see if you changed the name. There we go. Good. A wonderful viewer list of 1.
Woohoo!
It hasn't refreshed.
And that's probably you.
No, that was you.
Oh, I'm in the dashboard. Now it'd be me.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we have a total of 4 people now watching.
Woohoo! And
Right.
listening to us talk over the music. That's awesome.
Oh, maybe you should get better music.
Ah, we'll
Still
get fun in
gonna
that.
bitch about it. I will bitch forever.
Probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, otherwise I would be a boring man.
Alright.
Let me check if the chat is working. Let me check if the chat is working.
Woohoo!
The typey part works.
Woohoo!
The typey part works.
Woohoo!
The typey part works.
Ah, that's why. Ha ha ha.
Alright, we have... Really? It says we have 2 people
I know.
watching.
Might be people logging in though.
Well, yeah, but there's 3 people in the chat. So, math dictates that this thing has no fucking clue.
Yeah, that would probably be about right. And I don't care how much you bitch about the music, it has a nice shadow running feely to me.
I will give it that.
And that's why
Not
I
much
picked
more
this
than
one.
that, but that. Let me refresh this thing real quick just to see if I get it to update more stuff properly.
And there we go. We're live, whether people are ready or not.
I haven't been ready in so long.
Oh, well, you'll live. Somehow. Maybe.
Maybe.
Welcome to the 3rd episode of the Anjel Syndicate live cast. This one titled lovingly, Break Glass in Case of Pants. Pants are the bane of our existence. So if you see pants, get scissors, get a knife, get a blowtorch, I don't care. Shred the fuckers. Down with pants. I am, of course, David AnjelusX, Sloan White, director, owner, and generally just the crazy asshole on Anjel Syndicate. And with me is Matt Sans Pants on Twitter, our tabletop guru, ninja, and generally the guy who keeps all the lube stashed somewhere.
You just had to tell everyone, didn't you?
I did. Your secret's out there.
All right. Well then, you're the one that seems to have a little bit more on your docket. What are you going to talk about first?
Well, let's see. I know the one thing that we're going to end up talking about, so why don't we get that out of the way right from the gate, and that is the
Okay,
announcement.
I'm pregnant. I'm sorry.
I didn't do it. I told you not to sit on that toilet seat.
I couldn't help it.
Oh,
Okay, now,
no.
really, what do we have to talk about that we have to talk about?
Well, of course we're back on Ouya again. It seems like
Aha!
every week something happens and we end up on this topic, so let's just get Ouya out of the way so we can just move on with our lives and be tranquil for another week. And that would be the announcement from Cliffhanger Productions about Shadowrun Online, which their Kickstarter is still running for the next 9 days, and they're still short. They're about halfway to their goal. They're adding support for Ouya and Linux, apparently. So, yeah, if the Kickstarter goes through and or they just happen to put it through anyway, we could see Shadowrun Online on Ouya.
Not to mention, now that you have, they're going to have their built-in audience of people that want to play Android games. They're going
True.
to have a massively multiplayer online game going for them. They're going to have OnLive going for them. At this point, it looks that they're doing what I thought that they should have been doing in the first place, and being more service-related and trying to give people plenty of reasons to pick one up. It's firing a shotgun at a fish in a barrel. Is you get enough bullets in there, you're going to hit something, and eventually you're going to find what someone will say. You know what? I will pay $100 for that, just for the convenience of having access to that.
I understand that. I don't know.
You are wrong.
I am cynical. I am cynical and I am doubtful, and I just don't know. The things that keep getting announced for it, and it's getting a very lukewarm reaction from the media. Some people are jumping up and down about it. Some people are in my boat where we're cautiously watching. I won't say optimistic because I'm not optimistic about it whatsoever. But, I am watching it. And then there's, of course, the people who are screaming that they hate it and they want to set it on fire because it's absolutely meaningless. And that's coming from a lot of developers, actually, which I find interesting. Is that there's the same reaction from developers out there. Human Element, I believe the name was announced to be was coming to it at launch. I remember reading that, if I remember correct. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, so it'd be great. It'd be nice to have an MMO on there for people to play, providing Shadowrun Online does get funded and does become a reality. But that in and of itself, as excited as I am about Shadowrun in an online form, it's not a big enough incentive. Now, if they announced some kind of deal with, like, World of Warcraft or one of the other bigger name MMOs, then that would be more significant to me, but I don't expect to see that until we see an actual product much closer to being, real, like at E3 or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of promise here, and it's one of those cases where you're looking at it and saying the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. We're never going to know until it's actually out there on the market how well it's going to work or how people are going to flock to it or not. So really, we're just doing a whole bunch of speculating, and of course you and I have totally different opinions on it because, again, I'm right and you're wrong.
Okay. You've got something on your docket to handle that. I've got to get somebody a drink of milk.
Oh,
Parenting never stops.
Let's see. Oh, let's go ahead and talk about some happy, fun stuff over. Steam is having yet another sale because God knows they can't stop doing that. Mainly because QuakeCon is going over this weekend. If you have $100 and you haven't bought any games in the last 5 years or so, you can get all of the Fallout games that have come out recently, a whole bunch of the Bethesda games, a bunch of the id games, just a ton of stuff. And they've also been running daily sales for what it's worth. Today's deal, the little daily deals that they do every day, is actually kind of interesting, called Hack/Loot. It's $3.50. It's an indie RPG. It looks like a roguelike. I bought it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because, stuff. And that one looks like it's going to be fun. Of course, I don't have anyone else here to counteract me, so I'm going to say it is the greatest game of all time. And of course, Mr. Angelus is going to agree with me because screw that guy. Let's see. In other news. Oh, wait, is he back?
I am back.
Oh God, the boss is back.
Woohoo! Run! Hide your contraband. I'm here. Ah.
All right, you just missed me talking about some Steam crap.
Oh well, it's Steam. It's crap. It's great. Next, what have you got?
Let's see. You mentioned you were going to talk about something Sims 3 related.
Yes, the announcement that came out yesterday, I believe, about the next expansion pack following Supernatural's being Seasons. Now, expansion packs have been coming out pretty frequently for The Sims 3, like every 2 or 3 months lately, with stuff packs in between. What's significant about this one is that this, I believe, is the one that every Sim fan has been screaming for since the game launched, which was, almost 3 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
So we're finally going to get the changeable weather and all the fun, festive, seasonal crap that we played the hell out of in Sims 2. What's ironic to me is that I've noticed the trend of they've been putting out expansion packs shorter and shorter time periods between them, especially this year. And I think I had this discussion with some people both on social media and privately that they're starting to wonder, is this the signal that we're going to have an announcement about Sims 4 in 2013, or are they really pushing things before they launch SimCity in February?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. They're about due for another Sims, whole revamp, but I'm wondering if they're going to wait until Windows 8 comes out so that they can try and jump on some of that proprietary goodness.
That is a possibility. The thing with The Sims, though, is that they have always tried to be in that moderate space between high and low-end computers. They usually aim for the middle ground. Because obviously the franchise is so huge with so many players that they have to be careful how they set about deploying it, because if they deploy it with Windows 8, then they could be cutting out a large section of their audience, because not everybody's going to upgrade right away. There are still people who are using Windows 98, for Christ's sake.
I feel so bad for them.
So,
If you're listening to this, stop doing that. Stop that right now.
And get the hell off of Vista, too. But anyway.
Anyway.
So, it's just, I'm personally, my guilty pleasure is The Sims. I'll admit that, as, much as I love my shooting and death and explosions, The Sims is my fallback game when I want to just do something that doesn't require any thought and I can just be as mean to people as I want. But I'm excited about...
Have you played an MMO? You can do the same thing.
I can, yes, but not not at the same level of control.
True.
You
can be a dick, but you can't be you can't lock your best friends in the one-room cell and watch them slowly die.
Or put a fence around the pool and watch them drown.
Yeah, see, this is why I am more afraid of people
Sims.
that play The Sims than people who play first-person shooters.
Oh yeah, we're all
If I'm
sadistic
shooting a guy,
fuckers.
that means I still have to reach over and pull the trigger. All you guys have to do is put a little fence around something or lock them in something and just sit there and watch them slowly.
Or make them repeatedly fix the washing machine until they get electrocuted repeatedly. That's a good
See,
thing, too.
you have a list!
Oh yes, I have a list. You could lock somebody in a room full of dirty dishes and have them killed by flies. That's always amusing after a long day at work. Either way, I think we're seeing an uptick in the frequencies of the expansion packs, probably because of SimCity coming out, because they're going to want to focus on that going forward and the expansions for that. And I think the SimCity engine, the Glassbox engine, might be a precursor of where we're going to see SimCity or Sims 4 go to. So I found that interesting that they went from a September launch for Supernatural to a November launch for Seasons. I think that's the shortest time period we've seen, because if I remember correctly, the last expansion pack came out between the last one, which was Showtime, and Supernatural, I think, is 3 or 3.5 months. But now we're going to have a 2-month space. So, and we had 2 stuff packs come between Showtime and Supernatural as well, which is significant because usually it's one expansion, 1 stuff pack, and so on. So I think they're pushing at the end of stock because they're soon going to be either announcing The Sims 4 or they're going to focus all the attention on SimCity.
See, and I hear all this stuff here, and honestly, as someone who does not play The Sims nearly as much as you do, all I'm thinking is when I fired up Mass Effect 3 and I popped into Origins and I took a look around, I was like, okay, let me see what's on sale, and I see a whole bunch of Sim stuff, and I see things like, I think there was a Kesha group of things and all these different branded items.
Yeah.
And I thought, my God, that's how they're making money. They're killing you with 1,000 cuts. I mean, this is worse than that one train game I saw up on Steam where it costs like $5,000 to get everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the stuff packs are what, 20. The expansion packs are 30 to 40. They've got content on the Sims store that's exclusive that you have to pay for, which includes special bonus worlds, which are usually about $21, $23, and then all the other content. The Sims franchise is a money-making machine for the amount of stuff. Plus the deals they signed with Katy Perry, the Diesel stuff that came out, which was all a fashion house in Italy, if I remember. So it's all branded Diesel clothing, which they are also launching Diesel clothing for people to buy themselves with Sims logos and whatnot. That's coming out soon as well. Plus, they're doing a promotion with Diesel to get Sims 3 content through the Diesel website, probably by buying Diesel clothing. So, this is a powerhouse money-making machine for EA.
Yes, it is. Speaking of EA, there is another elephant in the room that we're going to have to address.
Oh, I know.
Yep. So EA and Zynga are about to duke it out. Round 1. EA says, hey, your little DeVille thing, it's totally a ripoff of our Sims Online game that we've got going. And that's bullcrap, and yeah, you guys are blatantly ripping us off, and that's not cool. Zynga says, no you.
Yeah, no bitch. You saw, with the Cityville and SimCity Social. So, yeah, it's Attack of the Clones there.
Yeah, it's really bad that there were a lot of different reviewers that said, wow, this game looks awfully familiar when DeVille came out. And when you have that much evidence coming along, they probably had to sit around and, lawyers take forever to do that kind of stuff. But I think they're right. They're the only ones. EA is the only company that could reasonably stand up to them and say, no. And while I can't really talk too much about it because, I am a former Electronic Arts employee and they're probably watching me right now, I can safely say that it's going to be very interesting for the for the social space, and I think it's going. I don't think this is going to be the end. I think it's going to go multiple places before this is all over, and it'll be really interesting to see the fallout from it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody has, seen Zynga and the games they come out with, which often look notoriously like other games that were released sooner. But, in the social gaming space, there's clones of clones of clones of clones. So, I can see EA has a case, Zynga has a counter case to an extent, but, it's going to have repercussions throughout the whole social space because there have been people who have wanted to try to tackle Zynga for copyright and couldn't because, Zynga's huge. No matter what you say about their games, their ability to generate revenue off the unwashed on Facebook alone is huge. They're a juggernaut. So EA really is the only one that has the leverage to really stand up to them. But at the same time, it's, clones of clones. So I can't. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes because I can see it either being settled or I can see it going to court. And if it goes to court, it's going to be some big, heavy game drama.
It's going to go to court. There's no question about it. Now, I'm kind of wondering why they decided to pick now. Partially because, as we all know, Zynga has taken an absolute beating out on the market. They're getting dangerously close to getting delisted. And that's saying a fair bit.
Well, now would be the most opportune time to do it.
Yeah, you catch them with their pants down and say, hey, no.
Exactly. If you're going to kick the dog, you make sure it's distracted and down already, so it can't rear up and bite you in the ass when you turn around.
Yeah, I mean, not that I would wish harm on anyone, because in the end, when the two big dogs fight, everyone below them loses. It doesn't matter which side you're on. And I do have some friends that work at both companies, so I'm really hoping that it doesn't get terrible, but because I'm on the sidelines, I can safely sit out on the veranda and pull out my sandwich and watch the battle as it slowly unfolds, and I can afford to make this kind of commentary.
Yeah, well, this is it. We know people who work there, but at the same time, we have to be objective in our viewing, but we're going to have opinions and we can talk about them. There's going to be fallout regardless.
Yes.
And Zynga's going to probably be the one with the heavier fallout with layoffs and stuff. And we discussed this earlier in the week about, somebody swooping in and either buying Zynga or an asset sale or something like that if it gets too bad. And it's going to be interesting because usually whenever anybody talks about gaming in a legal sense, except for the rare copyright cases which generally don't get a lot of play, this one's going to be huge in terms of later development for indies as well as big publishers.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts for everyone involved. It's going to... Honestly, it's one of those things where we're just going to have to sit back and see how extreme the courts decide to go with it. Because it's not there are three parties here. There is EA, there is Zynga, and then there's what the courts actually say. And that judge, if they have no idea what the hell is going on when it comes to social gaming and gaming in general, they could make some rulings that are just completely batshit out of left field and make everyone wins. Yeah. So it's going to be real interesting to watch.
Indeed. Now, you mentioned to me yesterday that you had a topic you wanted to discuss and an article that went along with it, so why don't you bring that up, because you seem to be ready to rant and bitch and chew about it, so...
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance, because this is going to be me screaming loudly at nothing. I'm going to go ahead and link it in our chat here, because this was brought up to me yesterday or the day before. Essentially, is a report from BBC News by a Miss Jane Wakefield. Women and tech. Why don't girls want to be geeks? Lady, you are so full of fucking shit. Some of the things that they're talking about is, math is hard. Well, you know what? Math has always been hard. Girls don't want to go in there and try and make mistakes. You know what? I hate to tell you this, lady, but a lot of that has been studied pretty extensively by people who are paid a hell of a lot more than you, me, and the other guy I'm talking to combined. You know what? It's not nature. By default, a woman is about as good as a man when it comes to nearly everything. I mean, granted, they can push out babies, but and that's totally awesome. I like that about them. But they also get boobs, and that's also great. But that doesn't affect them being able to do math, to be able to problem solve. A lot of that has to do with nurture. It has to do with preconceived notions that have started from the beginning of their existence all the way until age 5 or 6. Boys are taught, okay, boys want to be manly. They're the ones that want to, go out and do things. They're the ones that are supposed to problem solve. They're the ones who get fucking Legos, whereas girls get little dolls, and they're supposed to be treated to be pretty and stuff like that. You know what? All of that stuff has been ingrained in them since day one, and it's very difficult to get over that once it's been instilled. It works both ways, too. And yes, some men get boobs, too. Yeah, I have a nice pair myself. But I'm working on it. I am losing weight, goddammit. The thing is, people need to be trained, both men and women, that risk is okay. That what you're into is totally fine. One way or the other. You know what? If a boy wants to play with dolls, that's freaking fabulous. There's a whole bunch of fashion marketing majors that need to be slapped down. And I think that they should be the ones to do it. Women can totally go and program. Hell, my last 3 or 4 bosses have been women, and they are all incredibly intelligent, capable people that know what the hell they want to do. And at least one of them was a math major, and she scares me with her mathitude. There is no reason why you can't do that shit. Absolutely none. The only thing that is holding you back is you.
I really don't have a counter-argument for any of that. The only other benefit I can think of to being a man is that we generally have an easier time writing our names in the snow. But, you know...
I don't want to challenge that one, by the way, so ladies, no. Ladies, if you're listening, that is not a challenge?
No, that's not a challenge. That's just, you know, humor. So enjoy that. But, you know, the thing is that this is the same argument, only it's in a different package that we've had for years in the industry anyway. You know, it's the same gamer girl myth that has been, you know, rapidly dispelled and stomped on forever. So it's interesting to me that all of a sudden the BBC would publish that when it's patently untrue. Because, you know, women are in every segment of industry, especially in IT gaming. I mean, there is still a long ways to go for women to reach higher and higher roles and levels in the industry. That goes without saying. I had this discussion on Twitter the other night with someone. But we're starting to see women reaching these roles and doing these jobs that they're perfectly qualified for and perfectly capable of doing. But when an article comes out like this, it's just so it pisses me off. As a father with daughters, I don't want them to get a message like that when they don't need it. They can do any damn thing they want, whether it's to fly airplanes, program games, or fucking fight fires. I don't care. If they want to do it and they have the drive to do it, all power to them. But when crap like that comes out, especially from a major media source, it's just wrong.
I think here's the part that caused me to flip my nut, and this is what really brought other people up on this article. Miss Carol Dawkins, she's an IT teacher at a Toynbee school over, I don't know, somewhere in fucking England. Her words, and notice if you read through this, nearly everyone talking is a woman. And that's the part that baffles me as much as anything else. But she says, for the boys, hacking Linux is their comfort zone. Whereas for girls, technology is all about email and Facebook. Her words. Apparently, girls can't figure out Linux, and apparently my penis gives me +2 to Linux. Why didn't anyone tell me this? Because I'm scared as hell of installing that on my laptop over there. I want to, but I'm like,
Well, see, I guess you should have checked your character sheet in life.
I know, for real. Apparently my penis does many things.
It's the gateway to better IT. If we had known that growing up, we might have done better in certain courses. We should have just let our penis do the typing and just sat back and relaxed. But,
you know what, if I could type with my penis, I think that I would probably have my own video show by now.
That is
just
true.
saying.
That is true. Or at least your own lube franchise.
Yeah. And speaking of other things about women that make me sad, you know that shit has gotten real when the New York Times is writing about sexual harassment online. Sorry, guys. This happy little article from the New York Times has summed up a lot of the bullshit that's been happening the past few weeks on, women being harassed because they're women for playing online games. And a large number is bullshit, and a lot of it's stuff that we've discussed before. My policy is always and forever, there are so many reasons to hate other people.
Mm-hmm.
Pick something that they chose. Don't pick something that they don't have much of a choice on. If they are a woman, guess what? They probably didn't pick that. If they're working on becoming a woman, same freaking deal. You know what? That's a decision between them and whatever deity or deities they believe in. Make fun of them for being of a different political group. Make fun of them for wearing the world's stupidest pants that day. Make fun of them for, There's a long list of other reasons to do that. There is no reason to harass someone and ask them to show them your tits. There is no reason to lean over and smell them when they are in the middle of a competition. There is no reason at all to sit there and yell obscenities at someone online when you're in the middle of trying to play a goddamn game. Yes, make fun of laugh at them for standing in the green stuff when they should be standing in the friggin' green stuff. There are so many other reasons to hate and discriminate against other people. Don't do it for their skin color. Don't do it for what they're packing in their pants. That's cheap and lazy.
Absolutely.
And in the end, the fact that the New York Times has written about it just makes us all look like a bunch of jerks. And it's something that needs to be addressed. Unfortunately, I have no idea how, because unlike, I guess, a bunch of other people, I try and do my damnedest to not expose myself to that kind of stuff. When I play like TF2, I have a certain set of servers that I go to. If you want to know what they are from the TF2 Noobs site. I go over there and play them because they have a strict, if you're harassing other people like that, you get banned.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with MMOs. If someone just runs around and acts like a complete tool, right-click, ignore, right-click, report. Done.
That's what the tools are for.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel bad for people on Xbox Live though, because I haven't touched it in a long time, specifically because people can sit there and talk shit all day long, and it's stupid. Have they increased or gotten any sort of security and that kind of stuff to be able to more weed out some of these degenerates?
There are, it depends on the game. Some games have built-in functionality to mute people you don't want to listen to. And I haven't really looked into it that much myself because generally I don't run into that problem because I normally just avoid playing with random people I have no idea who they are for that reason. But I imagine there are settings in there. That's something we should look into and maybe do a piece about, because that's a very good topic to look at further, and it would make a great piece for the site. Well, I am going to interject one thing, and that's not so much to defend guys who are harassing women or anyone who's harassing anyone for any reason, but at the same time, coming from the New York Times, I have this, well, actually from any mainstream media, the problem I have with a piece like this, even though it's has a good message in a way, is that it's also colored by, most likely, the stereotype that they have for gamers still in the mainstream mass media anyway. They still view us as the guys who are living in their parents' basements, who are, overweight and haven't seen the light of day in, 20 years. So, it is a problem, it is prevalent, but we have the mainstream also discriminating against anyone who's a gamer, which isn't helping either. So
not necessarily. I mean, people bandy about the 47% of game players are women. Other people say, well, that's because they're playing. They're counting the people that play Facebook games as the ones that play Diablo 3. And when it comes down to statistics, everyone can make up their own goddamn numbers.
Yeah.
But I do believe some of the numbers that I've heard, and that is that the average age of a gamer is mid-20s. We have grown up. A lot of us have grown up playing games.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that's completely freaking out of left field. It's not people that are living in their basement recently, trying to log into their local bulletin board system and playing Legend of the Red Dragon or anything like that.
Yeah.
We got people that have been playing games seriously for the last decade, easily.
Or longer.
I've been playing games since I was, I've been playing games for over 2 decades now.
Yep.
Well, actually, a little less than 2 decades. I'm not that old yet. Wait, math. Math!
If I want,
See, terrible at math. Clearly, I need to turn in my penis.
if I want to go back to the first time I stood on a milk crate to reach the toggles for pinball and Pac-Man, I would be playing games roughly for 30 years. So, I had the original Atari systems. I even had an original Pong somewhere in my mother's attic. Coleco, all the systems down through the... And the thing is that when I was sitting there with my friends when I was 10, or in teenagehood, or in my 20s and now in my 30s, I have had my friends playing these games with me, and half of them are girls. So girls have always been playing games. It's just that they haven't been saying that they are playing them for that reason, because they run into, especially in MMOs, 90% of the time you ran into somebody, whether they're using a male or female avatar, chances are they're probably a girl. And they're not going to say they are for that reason, because as soon as they say they're a girl, every guy in the immediate area will be starting with, hey, can I see your boobs? I don't believe it. Pictures, or it didn't happen. That kind of crap.
Or even better, some guys play as girls. They say, "Oh, I'm doing it just so I don't have to stare at a guy's butt all day." No, a lot of them play like that because they take advantage of that inborn nurture sentiment that I discussed earlier.
Yep.
That they get free stuff, they get extra help because people are nice. You know what? That's why, as a rule, I treat everyone as the same gender. There are no girls on the internet.
Yeah,
which isn't necessarily, which sounds bad, but it really means I don't care what your gender is.
Yeah.
I don't. If you're playing a character that's female, I will judge you based on how good you actually matched your clothing. If you're playing the Secret World and you're wearing this weird lime green halter top and next to nothing on your butt, I'm going to laugh at you. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl. You look like a fucking idiot who just stepped out of the circus somewhere and left half of your clothes back there.
It's so true. We're men, we're women, we're gamers. That's our gender. We're gamers. Doesn't matter beyond that. So.
Yeah. And something that, I'm going to rant about this one more time.
Okay.
Because this is something that is something that a lot of us older gamers need to learn, is that being a gamer is no longer an on or off switch. It's not a toggle. It's you have varieties of nerd. You have varieties of geek. We've gotten to the point where there is enough nerddom out there that people can be selective about what kind of nerd they are. We're not to the point where it's like, oh, Nintendo versus Sega. Do you like anime? Because if you liked anime 20 years ago, you damn right you got into all of it, because there was an incredibly small trickle coming over to the point where you would need to go to other conventions with a stack of VHS tapes to get anything at all. And it was horribly subtitled, and you liked it.
Yep.
Nowadays, you can go online and download all kinds of different stuff that shouldn't be over here. Stuff that's not even, converted for Western consumption. Yeah, thank you, friggin' Olympics. Oh no, Americans can't handle the Europe. Can't handle what the United Kingdom is putting out. You know what? We're adults.
Yeah. Watch the Canadian feed.
I know, for frickin' real.
I watch the Canadian feed for the Olympics. We do it both. Yeah. We do it right. But anyway.
but that's the thing. We don't have those kind of filters that we used to have. There are people, there are kids, 14 to 16-year-olds that are getting into anime now for the first time, that are getting it based on Bleach or Naruto, as opposed to back in the day when you watched Akira and Vampire Hunter D.
Sailor Moon.
Exactly.
Robotech.
Yeah, Robotech. And Shigeki. These are all these things were brought over in a trickle for American audiences, if at all. And we had to fight and scrape to get that kind of stuff. Nowadays, anyone can get that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
you go out there and play. A lot of people's first MMO experiences are World of Warcraft.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, exactly. And when you talk to someone like that, people like us, we're like, well, holy shit! I started on a little game called Dark Ages that was put out by Nexon Entertainment, strangely enough.
Yeah, I remember
way back in the day. And after that, I played EverQuest. Fair amount of time. I played Dark Age of Camelot a lot, and then you have to look and realize, what? We were pioneers.
Yeah, my first MMO was the original Ultima Online.
Exactly. But we're the ones that sit there, and we're the ones that took the lumps. We're the ones that got wedgies when we were younger, because being a nerd was not cool back when we were kids.
Nope.
Nowadays, nerds are cool. It's about damn time. but we can't begrudge people for learning about how to be a nerd at their own pace, because it's not something that you have to be an extreme otaku about, to
No.
use another word that I haven't used in a while, about this kind of stuff. It's no longer an on or off switch.
Nope. You either are or you're not. And you learn it as you learn it.
Yeah. So, for those of us who are a little older, like that one gentleman who had talked about, girls that dress up and do cosplay and stuff like that are just, trying to, or doing it just for the attention. You know what, dude? Not necessarily. Maybe they were watching Batman the Animated Series and they were like, you know what? Poison Ivy is pretty hot. I really like this series, and I think that costume looks really awesome. I think I'm going to wear that to the next convention I go to. You know what? Let them. That's their nerd. It's totally fine. Totally friggin' awesome. And we shouldn't judge people based on the quality of nerd they are. Unless they start talking shit, in which case you slap them down.
Mm. Yeah. Not some countries are still judging people by their nerddom. That's true. But the thing is, and this is one of the things that I have largely been an advocate of my entire life that I've spent wasted on the internet, is that, with the internet, borders are gone. So yes, there are countries that are, there are countries that discriminate against everything, whether you're a nerd, gay, lesbian, whether you like video games, anime, turtles, it doesn't matter. There are places in the world that are still going to be discriminatory against something. But that's the beauty of the internet, and that's the other downside of the internet, is that there aren't the same borders that we have. We don't have physical borders on the internet, but that allows every jackass, yahoo, and motherfucker to come on and make shit for everybody. But at the same time, it's also allowing everybody of same interest to connect. So, any small town in America, and, if you're a nerd, you're still going to get it. That just goes without saying, because, enlightenment is a very slow process. Very slow.
Unfortunately, one of the problems with the internet in general, if I might again speak as an old man, is that it doesn't. Having the internet means that we don't have to learn how to deal with other people's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It means that at any point I can go out and say, "Hey, I'm really into, I don't know, let's go with furries. I enjoy looking at furry, the furry stuff, and I can immediately have a group of other people that are like, you know what, that's friggin' awesome," and that's cool to a point, because it means, hey, I've got a built-in audience for people that can totally respect me. But it also enables people to not have to deal with the fact that there are people out there that are total dicks.
Mm-hmm.
And people that are going to judge you based on that. And it allows you to say, well, you know what? I don't have to listen to this one person's opinion because their one thought on something is totally wrong to me. You don't have to deal with them because, hey, you've got your little hug zone right over there. It means that as a society, we are becoming less tolerant instead of more.
Indeed.
It means that instead of us as people being able to say, you know what, I disagree with your view on a particular thing, but that's okay because we're people. You don't get that kind of connection as much anymore, and I'm afraid that this new generation is learning the internet and stuff is learning how to make people less tolerant, especially considering the fact that anyone can be anyone on the internet. All you have to do is say, you know what, fuck all y'all. I'm going to go over here where I'm, sans pants, 219 or whatever, and I'm going to talk about how furry porn is the best thing since sliced bread, and if you don't like it, well, you know what, I don't have to listen to you. Back in the day, you did have to listen to them because, well, you guys were all, everyone had to work together in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Now, not so much. And it allows, and the biggest third thing is that whole anonymity thing means that I can say whatever I want and there is no repercussions.
Well, we're starting to see an end to that.
We're starting to, but it's because
it's
of
still
all.
relevant.
It's because of the way that people have been talking about it. That is really causing communication to break down. It's making it more difficult for people to relate to each other, and I think as a person who likes the world and likes to see everyone, learn how to get along, I think that it's becoming a bit of a barrier.
Yeah, that is definitely true. But that's happening. It's a constant cycle with human society. We have this great magical thing that opens up the world to people, but it's also creating isolation pockets within this broad expanse. And, that's going to happen, because it happens whenever there is a large breakthrough in communication. Before it was little towns that might see somebody new once every, 2 months or something, or longer. And then, we had mail systems, and then we had telephone, and now we've got the internet. There's going to be pockets of isolation no matter where you go. It's just that now with the internet, the pockets of isolation are a lot larger than they ever were.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole lack of face-to-face communication that allows people to be incredibly horrible to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a bit of a damn shame. When people lose empathy, terrible, terrible things happen. And you know what? I think we need to drop this and move on to something more fun.
I think so too, or we're going to be here all night. All right. Let's see. What else have we got on the docket? World of Tanks, yes. The 8.0 update is bringing a brand new... They're re-rendering 10 of the original maps for the game, and there's also other updates that are coming up. But I thought this stood out to me because it's not often that you see an MMO that is bringing in a whole update that reworks the graphic system of the game to such a major extent. You might see a couple of graphical tweaks here and there that might fix something that's out of phase with the rest of the art style. But in this case, they're re-rendering entire maps, making changes, adding environmental effects and lighting, along with other changes that are coming to the actual gameplay. So this stood out to me as a very interesting development in the MMO space.
Ooh. I am always one for making things look prettier in the MMO space. So.
Exactly. And, the game has been immensely popular. So it doesn't surprise me. And there are people who are pouring tons of money into their accounts for not quite that much of an advantage. But they're reworking the entire system, and they're going to be updating, I think, the original 10 maps first with this update, and then some of the other maps will be getting updated over time. So it's going to be... I know I'm funny.
No, that's someone else laughing in the background. My bad.
I know. I'm kidding.
They're laughing at you.
Probably. That's okay.
Well, I've been laughing at you, but I keep mine on the inside. That's why I'm probably going to have my stomach rupture about 5 minutes after we're done.
Nice. So yeah, I thought that was pretty significant to see a complete overhaul of a title as a work in progress in the MMO space. Yeah.
Speaking of the MMO space, I would like to pitch one of the games that I've been playing lately. As part of our, what the hell are you playing this week? I, of course, have been playing Secret World as best I can. But in addition, there's a little game called Continent of the Ninth. It's put out by WebZen. And it is one of the funnest action MMO kind of games that I've played in a long while.
Right, nice. I haven't been keeping up with them lately. That's one of the publishers
you should.
I usually
they're live now. I just dropped $10 on some of their stuff.
Nice.
To explain it to people that haven't played it, it is it's a Korean MMO that is focused on going to a dungeon, beating stuff up a la Dungeon Fighter Online, except for that it's in the 3D space, so that you can play it. So that you have a whole extra dimension to screw around with. And the graphics are gorgeous. The missions are pretty fun. The action is very fluid, and if you can get everything set up right, it just moves gorgeously. It is definitely one of my more favorite games, and it's a game that you can pick up and play for like 10 or 15 minutes, run a couple of quick dungeon things, and you're done. Or you can, it scales all the way up to being able to do lots of serious stuff.
Excellent. I'll have to definitely check that one out.
Yeah, they've made a lot of changes since the closed and open beta, and I am getting back into it, and it's a good thing to just pick up and play.
Okay. And yes, Raiders is coming out soon. And there's another one I just read about. I can't remember what it was. End of Nations is in, second round of closed beta.
That's right.
I was meant to play that this weekend, but I never got the chance. I'll have to do that next time. Or I'll jump into it tomorrow, perhaps.
You should jump into it tomorrow. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Well, I looked at it the first beta weekend for a little bit, but I've been distracted clearing my review docket and playing massive amounts of endless space. Because, yeah, Civ in space, what can I say? But anyway.
I hear you. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, let's talk about games that have come out this week.
Yes.
Xseed. The Xseed series has come out. EXCEED, not XSEED, the company that puts out a bunch of other really fun games. It is what they call a bullet hell shooter. You've got your little ship, you're trying to fly around, avoid the hundreds and hundreds of bullets that are flying at you, and shoot other stuff. They've got a collection for $10 up on Steam. It is a game that I would totally recommend. In addition, Awesome Knots came out this week.
Yeah.
Awesome Knots? Knots. That is it's a little indie action platformer kind of game. You play 3-on-3. It's a two-dimensional shindig where you jump around and try and shoot the hell out of each other. In addition, A Virus Named Tom, for those of you who like your action strategy kind of games. I think it is gorgeous, incredibly simple, but really difficult to master. It's one of those kind of games that is totally worth the $7.50 that it's up for right now.
Yes, and yes, the Dawn Guard for Skyrim is out for PC, which I'm not sure if we wrote that up yet or not. I believe Tiffany did. And Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Fuck, that's a mouthful.
Well, of course, it's a game. At this point, they're just going to throw EX plus Alpha at the end and be done with it.
Oh, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, we forgot our pants. I know that's coming. Was released for
I bet it is.
The 3DS. Yeah, I can talk. Too much time looking at boobs, what can I say? Leaves me tongue-tied. Seriously, though. So yeah, and what coming out this month, August is going to be an awesome month. I don't care what you say, because we've got Sleeping Dogs on the 17th, I believe, and I am surprisingly very much looking forward to Transformers: Fall of Cybertron, which is on the 21st.
Yeah, that one's going to be good. Sleeping Dogs is definitely what I'm waiting for. That's going to be my bag for the next month or so. Yeah,
they're both Sleeping Dogs, especially after watching the new Investigations trailer. I'm wondering if I plan on playing LA Noire again before I pick up Sleeping Dogs, just because I have this, back of my neck itch that I might be seeing something similar in some of the gameplay mechanics. So it'll be interesting to see if my spidey sense is right or not. But and yeah, September is going to be a rockin' month. October is going to be insane.
I hate to say it, I'm not looking forward to it because there's just too damn much.
Yeah, there is way too much for October. Way too much. Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Liberation. What else? Dishonored, which with the big cast announcement the other day, which I thought was interesting, having Susan Sarandon in there to do a voice.
That is the best thing about that game.
No, well, I liking the game to begin with,
you will not speak ill of Susan Sarandon in front of me, sir.
Of course not. I would not ever. She is a goddess of stage and screen. But, that's not the only selling point for Dishonored, is all I was going to say. But that is a huge one. I'm interested in seeing this game just because of the steampunkiness, too. But, and then there's just so many more games than you can throw a stick at, not counting the games that were pushed off from October. Because of, October being insane as it is.
Oh yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
kind of hilarious. You see October getting huge. September is going to be huge. November and December is looking kind of barren. And not that I'm complaining, because that'll give me a chance to actually.
November and December is Wii U, isn't it? That's probably why.
Oh God, yes.
So it'll be November, December is when the Wii U hits. So it's going to be Zombie U and all the other Wii U woohoo games that are going to be coming out. So that's probably why you see this big rush for October, because they want everybody to buy the games. So
Yes,
that they're
Halo
not-
4 is coming out. I know.
Yes, Halo 4. Wii.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
dudes. I suck at shooters on a console. Therefore, I don't pay attention to them quite as much as I probably should have. Then again, that's why I'm the tabletop RPG guy, and not the guy who flicks his twin sticks trying to shoot stuff guy. That would be one of the other people.
Yes.
That would be Tiffany, probably.
Most likely, yes. I'm a moderate shooter player, and my favorite shooter is Bulletstorm, so don't go by my opinion. Never could get into Halo. And Dead or Alive 5 in August. I knew there was one.
Oh, right.
Thinking
New
around in
ways
my
for us to
head.
put our eyes out. That'll be great.
I know, it's all about the booby physics. But also, coming up this week on Angel Syndicate, we had a moderately quiet week aside from news, because things have been busy as we've been preparing for new systems. We're going to have a bunch of reviews hit this week, including on Tuesday, which I can't say too much about because it's still embargoed, but my review of the Warhead 7.1 Triton Xbox 360 exclusive wireless headset from Mad Catz will be going live on Tuesday morning.
Oh, I thought you were just stringing a bunch of words together and, like, I don't know, you stroked out for a second.
I know, it's quite a mouthful. The Warhead 7.1. That review will be hitting
That I
on
understand.
Tuesday. That good? Okay. Well, you know, it's just, there's a lot to say about it. Just to describe what it does, it's completely wireless. It's on Xbox. It's from Mad Catz and Triton. There.
Oh, another game that's coming out very soon that if you're not interested in, you should be. Way of the Samurai 4.
Yes.
It's a game with, like, those games always come with, like, at least 20 some odd different endings. Where
Yeah.
you're playing a samurai, you're going into an area, and you have to learn how to deal with the rival clans in the area, the peasants versus sometimes religious institutions, and depending on what you do, you end up making it, friends and enemies of certain people, and it's really, really open-ended, and that is really one of the best selling points in it. It has some decent combat controls and stuff like that, but you play a samurai that can go in, pick a side, and start working with them. I would almost say it's the Eastern equivalent of a Bethesda game, but
I was going to say Fable.
yeah, I think a little more like Fable. Yeah, Fable would be the better one.
Yeah.
But it's freaking huge. It's all their games have a lot of depth to them that you don't normally see, and it's supposed to be coming out the 21st.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an interesting month.
Oh, let's not bring up Fable the Journey.
No, let's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you're making a game that's supposed to be for the masses, that's supposed to be, social, people realize when you're dumbing shit down for them and treating them like they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Players are not stupid.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes
Most
they want an
players
easier
aren't.
experience, or they want something they can just pop in and pop out and have fun. But when they say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make this game just use one button," because they no.
Yeah, no, we've got enough of those. If we wanted to play games that just need one button, we'd play retro games all the time and nothing else, and we'd still have a hell of a lot more fun.
Yes.
I'd get the old NES out and I'd start playing Battletoads if I really want to feel stupid.
Oh yeah, that's a game that hurts me a lot.
Stupid and uncoordinated.
I really want to break down one day and get the Japanese version and put it next to the Nintendo version and see if they were absolutely, if they were true, and that the Japanese version is easier than the Nintendo version because they wanted to make the games harder so it'd be more than a week's rental to get people to buy it.
Yeah. Oh, the good old days when a game came out once every 2 months.
back when you keep up with. Of course, I was also a kid, so.
Well, yeah, and games were cheaper. And you could rent a brand new game, because there were 10 copies to be rented from your local Blockbuster or whatever.
Oh
And
god,
now,
there was this little indie store that when I was a little kid. I lived in the middle of frickin' nowhere because it was Alabama, and there's a lot of nowhere out there. And down the street, there was a rental place that had like 40 Nintendo games. No Genesis games, because screw you, Genesis. And there was at that time where I could go up, pick out a couple of games, take it home, and be like, all right, we're going to do this.
yeah.
And now, you go to Redbox, and there's 4 games there, and all of them are sports games, because, again, screw you guys.
Yeah. Well, it's the same. In this two-horse town, we did have it became a Blockbuster. It was something else. But there was a little corner store down at the end of the road that I lived on when I was a kid. And I'd go in there and I'd pick up Elevator Action or Bump and Jump or, the NES games. I could pick up a couple of them, spend like $6. I'd have like 4 games to play for the weekend, and I'd just play the hell out of it. Now, you can't find anything anywhere. And it's insanely expensive. Like before the death of Blockbuster up here, they were charging insane amounts of money just to rent a game for like a day, or 3 days, or whatever. The good old days when things were cheap and things were easier, and you didn't have to watch as every Tuesday 10 games or more came out.
You sound so old right now. I just wanted to point that out.
I'm downright geriatric, I tell you.
Well, I'm not changing your colostomy bag.
Oh, that's okay. I've got an app for that.
Oh, that scares me.
I know, right?
All right.
Anyway, so let's finish off with some questions from the chat with all of 6 people who are watching.
Yeah. What do you guys want to hear about?
What you got? Bring it!
Please stop bringing up N64 games. I need to get one of those, and I've been trying not to get one of those because I'm pretty sure that if I plug one more thing into anything back here, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I won't comment on my N64 system because, I won't comment on my N64 system.
Oh, come on, don't you want to get it for Castlevania 64? The game that made Castlevania leap to 3D?
Oh, no, I've got an N64 system. I just don't comment on its existence because it's not a proper N64 system.
That's okay. I forgive you. No, seriously, the Castlevania 64 was the game that caused me to stop buying games out of the blue.
Yeah.
Because, God, it's a Castlevania game. I love Castlevania. I am going to buy this. I found out that I was the only damn person that pre-ordered it. And there had like 50 copies on the shelf, and I walked over and said, I pre-ordered it. It was the walk of shame from the desk next to my car. And then I popped it in and played it, and I felt bad. I felt bad that people paid money for that. I felt bad that I paid money for that, and that someone somewhere said, you know what, let's take this game and let's ship it.
Well, it's like the AOL CDs from the 90s. Everybody needs a coffee coaster.
Warhammer Dark Millennium. I have not been paying enough attention to that to even comment on it. Isn't it still up in limbo at this point?
No, I read a press release about that not that long ago. At least I think that's what it was for. I can take a look on that, but I remember seeing something.
Right? Yeah, Dark Millennium's the MMO, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, because they're changing it over from an actual MMO to a action MMO kind of thing, where they're doing kind of arena-ish stuff as opposed to doing a full-on MMO. You know what? I kind of like that, as long as they can do it right. I have no problem at all with that. If they can have the different groups, because really, Warhammer 40K has so much. The different groups are constantly working with and against each other all the time.
Oh yeah.
Fallout MMO, I'm not even thinking about until they actually say something about it. The Elder Scrolls, I'm not talking about because I know too many people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that it's going to be one of those games where people are going to be, if they go in thinking it's going to be an Elder Scrolls game, they're going to be disappointed. It's like people playing Star Wars Galaxy saying, wow, I'm going to play this game and be a Jedi.
Yeah, or the Old Republic, for that matter.
Yeah, Old Republic going free to play. I think if they do it right, it's going to be fan-friggin-tastic. I am afraid for all the people that are going to have to do the 30-gig download, but...
Yeah.
Your Dane brought up an interesting question. As us, as we're getting old, because, she needs to keep rubbing in that we're getting friggin' old. Thanks a lot. As we're getting old, do we find ourselves playing more casual games?
No. Well, no, I shouldn't say that.
Says the man who's been playing Sims 3 religiously. I think you need to rethink your statement, sir.
Sims 3 is not a casual game. You can spend hours in The Sims 3. There's nothing casual about it. You can play it casually, I grant you. But if you're really into playing The Sims, it is not a casual game. I can sit down to play to do one thing I might want to do. I might get an idea for a particular building I want to build. If I want to build a new bar or something for my little town, and I'll build the bar, and then I'll want to check it out, and then I have to play a little bit to make sure that it's the hot scene that particular game day, so that there are people there, so I can go check it out, and then, 5-6 hours will pass, dawn is breaking, and I'm sitting there bleary-eyed watching my sim make a grilled cheese sandwich. There's nothing casual about The Sims 3. Now,
dude, you just wax poetically about your character making a freaking grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm just that good.
I just wanted to point that out for everyone. I am going to tease you about this relentlessly.
That's fine. Grilled cheese is awesome. As far as casual games go, no, I don't play them that much. The only one that I do play, or I have been playing to any great amount lately, has been SimCity Social. And that's just because it barely scratches my itch for SimCity coming in February. But most casual games don't hold my attention that long, except for Lucid.
You're never going to shut up about that game, are you?
I'm not going to shut up about that game. That game is the fucking bomb. But casual games themselves, no, I don't play them that much. Unless I'm sitting down to play Just Dance 3, well, not sitting down, but unless I'm playing Just Dance 3, you could play Just Dance sitting down, I'll have you know. Because it's entirely based on arm actions with the Wii. As long as you get the arm actions right, you can sit down and play that one. But, unless I'm playing a game with my kids, my personal playtime, no, I don't. I generally avoid most casual games. I'm still playing the hardcore RPGs, the MMOs, the occasional shooter, or if I'm really in the mood to get my brain twisted inside out, I'll put Catherine back in.
Yeah, I will have to say that I do sometimes look for games that are easier to jump in and out of. Unfortunately, some people, I've looked at casual games, I've looked at some Facebook games and I've talked about them to a certain extent, but they don't really bring me what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of a game, if I want to play something, I want to do something that I can see results of and that I don't have to go bug 50 people for.
Or wait for a countdown timer.
Yeah, there's a big difference, however, between casual and social.
True.
Namely, casual, I can just dick around and play. I've got a whole bunch of games I can, just sit there and just fire it up and play. Give me a minute, and I'll open up my...
Well, that's
I'm over on Desura, which is what I use for... which is pretty much the other Steam. For those of you who have no idea what the hell it is. There are, every once in a while I see bundles that come up, and of course I gotta reach out and buy them. No new bundles this week that I've seen anyway, so you guys can save some money this week. But they do come out with games every once in a while, and if you peek around and you know what you're looking for, you can find really neat games that are just absolutely fun. There's this one little game that's all 8-bit, where you run around, just move to the left and right. It's like a 2.5D shooter where you just shoot zombies back and forth over and over. It is called Dead Pixels.
Incoming
by
transmission.
CSR Studios, and I would definitely recommend it if you've got I think it's $5 normally. Let me take a look at the thing. It is normally it's $3. $3 friggin' to pick up a game where you have a pretty cute. The little sprites look like little Mega Mans.
That would be fun.
And yeah, I have a blast with it. Little games like that I can just pop in, run around, shoot some stuff, hit a quick save point, get the hell out, done. I find myself gravitating more to those these days, although it definitely does not stop me from trying to play MMOs like The Secret World and free to play games or any other types of stuff. I just have to. I actually have a reason to play games that are short now.
That's true. Well, now that I think about it, casual games, that's what XBLA is. Most games on XBLA would count as that. So I have been playing quite a bit of Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD. I have to write it up, but as much as I suck at that game, because I do, no word of lie, I suck at that game. Okay, I could give the amount of how badly I suck at that game, I could give a hooker tips. But it's true. But at the same time, it's most XBLA games are like that. You can jump in, you can play them a bit, and you can be gone. So yeah, now upon reflection. So yeah, but it has nothing to do with age. I think it just has to do with how busy I am from day to day, how much time I can put into gameplay. Because if it's not a game that I'm consciously reviewing, then I go back to the standbys of what I would play at any given time, and those generally are, Civ 5, Sims 3, Endless Space, Final Fantasy 13-2, those are where my gaming inclination lie, and that really hasn't changed since I started playing RPGs in the NES era.
Yeah. To bring up, since someone else asked, my thoughts on Secret World is it's totally worth the $15 a month. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, but I think that the second it does, they are wholly and totally prepared for it, and I will probably throw money in it all the same. Sorry, it's the Secret World. They've got a free weekend thing going right now.
I know.
And I've been listening to people, watching some of the feeds on my Twitter as people are talking about it, and I've heard people say, "Oh wow, this is different. This is interesting." I've heard other people say, "Well, you know what? I played it for an hour and I just don't get it. It's too difficult. It's different." Yeah. And I think that they're right. It is different. It has a totally different feel for how it does stuff. The combat is different. People aren't used to how actiony the combat is, I believe. You have forward cones you have to do. You have PB AoEs as well as regular AoEs and stuff like that. It's different. The combat system, it can be hit or miss, but once you learn how to use it, things get really awesome, especially once you play for more than an hour and you get access to some of the good passives that are available in there. You can set up all kinds of cool chains and stuff. It is very much a thinking man's game.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like Chronicles of Spellborn.
Yeah. DCUO
combat-wise.
Yeah. Oh shit, let me think. Chronicles of Spellborn. That was. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. That was a long. Oh man.
Yeah.
Is that even around anymore?
No.
Did someone? Okay. So I thought that someone had bought it in the UK, over in Europe, and they shut off access to the States or something.
Frogster had it, and then they shut it down. And as far as I know, the entire company, disintegrated.
Oh yeah, they went to something fierce if memory serves. Didn't they get hacked severely or something?
Yeah, there was a whole shit ton of stuff that happened. And I think the lead designer, or one of the designers, started a mobile company making mobile games. So, and I think the rest just scattered to the four winds.
I need more mobile games.
We had I think in Game Theory, the second or third issue, we reviewed one of his games, and it didn't do too badly. But, yeah. Anyway, back to your point about Secret World. I'm not playing that. I have not touched that for that very reason, because I know if I do, my work schedule will go to hell, and I will get nothing done. I'm making a conscious effort not to play it, because I know what will happen.
Mm-hmm. Same reason why I haven't picked up Minecraft yet.
Yeah, that probably would be. I don't know. For me, Minecraft, I can't. Minecraft does nothing for me.
The second I pick it up, I'm going to start mining everything forever. I'm going to create a gigantic world, and I'm going to have waterfalls everywhere, and it's going to be nuts, and you'll never see me again.
Yeah, that sounds like The Sims 3.
I play Terraria right now. That's what we play during my lunch break at work. I have a server, and a couple of my coworkers get together, and we pop in there and try and do stuff. I can handle that because if I'm playing Orc and it's forcing me to play bite-sized bits, and I know that if I play at home, I'm back at square one. So that keeps me from getting too deep in it. Yeah. If I have a sec where I can sit there and play a 3D world where I get to mine the hell out of everything and create stuff, it's going to be terrible.
Well, then, yeah, the same rules apply for me as far as the secret world goes. That's what would happen. I would go in and I wouldn't come back, and nobody would hear from me for like a month. And that does not bode well when I have to run this circus that we're in the middle of. So that's why I have to resist the temptation, because I just don't have that much time to invest into a game that I know will steal my soul forever. But I'm not bitter.
No.
So, any other questions from chat before we wrap this up? We're running at an hour and 24 minutes. But we've been keeping things pretty lively, so I'm not minding that much, but there's still shit to be done. So.
Yep. Anything else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Okay.
All right.
I think you can send us off. Honestly, I think we're
good until next week.
I think we're largely good for another week.
Wait. Go! It's like watching the Olympics.
You're so cruel.
Go for it. Which I have to say right quick, Canada got 2 more medals today. Yay us. Sorry, we got a gold medal in women's trampoline. First gold medal of these games. Like, what the fuck?
Women's trampoline?
Women's trampoline.
Why aren't they showing that everywhere forever?
I don't know. Our men's trampoline, our guy totally blew it. So, this is nice. But our first gold medal of these Olympics, and it's in women's trampoline.
No, seriously. Think about it. Women's trampoline.
I know.
They should be selling that shit on pay-per-view.
You'd think.
I didn't even know that existed.
As far as I know, Jamaica has either won every foot race or is pretty near to winning every foot race. So be proud of your country, Kieran. Be proud. I think most Canadians are tripping over their own feet right now. Well, no, we're doing good in heptathlon, I believe. And we actually got a swimming medal.
Well, yeah, how do you avoid the polar bears?
That's true. Yeah, but you're running on ice with snowshoes. We're not talking about running on a foot track. We're talking about running on ice with snowshoes. Entirely different animal. Because you can't maintain a fast speed. It's all about trickery and diversion.
Now let's go back to the women's trampoline. Why aren't the dead or alive women doing women's trampoline?
That's a very good question. I should ask that of Team Ninja on Twitter. I will do that after we're done the cast. I will ask them, why not have trampoline in Dead or Alive? That would be great DLC.
There we go.
Have a trampoline arena for them to fight in. Could you imagine?
Well, they already have the one where you play volleyball and lounge at the pool.
That's true. Boner after boner. Yeah, that sums up his life. His life is just one big boner.
Yeah, thank you.
And yet he sucks at math. What the hell?
I know, you would think. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I got the wrong stats.
I think it's all the blood flow leaving your head to go to the other head. It just completely messes you up.
It would explain everything. All right, man.
Yeah.
Give us the outro.
Yeah, we're going out, so thank you for listening. You can catch us next week. Same cast time, same cast channel. Yes, I'm avoiding the word bat for the moment. Thanks for listening and enjoy. And we're out.